Okay, let's remember what we did back here. So here is our intro that we made. The end of it. Okay, here's the judge.
Hello, Inspector. Now this latest arrest, Frankie.
Okay, I want to try to take this and see if I can use that as her theme later. So I'm going to copy this out. And let's skip the mention of the judge for now and just go to a straight up judge scene. Okay, so here she comes back.
Did he have to return?
Oh, Sergeant, you said on the phone you found out a couple of things.
Yep.
Okay, let's make this scene a little more transparent with some music. Okay, so I'm going to put it in. Let's nudge it over to here. Let's maybe zoom in a little bit more so I can get it more accurately right at the start. This is what's great about about software, is that we can really get right where the scene starts. And I might even want it to be a hair early, but let's see.
Sergeant, you said on the...
There we go. And we'll just ramp it in just a hair.
Sergeant, you said on the phone you found out a couple of things.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything important?
It might be. I haven't been able to tie anything together yet. I'm afraid it's going to take a little time to crack this case.
Come on, your coffee will get cold.
Let's just let this play out and see how long
Give me a little too, Jerry.
we need to use this.
Well, what have you found out so far?
I had a list of names of everyone I thought could possibly be a link in the case. I've asked about all of them. Here are the results. Fred Smith. Obviously a phony. No reaction anywhere. Bob Winter.
You don't suspect Bob.
I don't get excited. Of course I don't. I just use Bob's name as a sort of bait. I'm afraid Jerry isn't too familiar with police methods, Your Honor.
Well, he never explains anything to me, Mrs. Valentine. How am I supposed to know anything about it?
But to continue, Umberto Scali. As I said before, no one knew him. Andy and Francis Williams, friends of Bob's, in the clear.
Yes, I know the Williams children.
Al Holmes.
Al Holmes. I don't seem to remember that name.
That's the boy whose uncle owns the pool. They went swimming there tonight.
Oh, yes. Is he in the clear?
Well, to tell you the truth, Your Honor, I don't know. Reactions I got to his name weren't what I expected. One kid I spoke to said he knew him, then changed his mind. Another said he had heard of him, but never had anything to do with him. Another stalled around and finally admitted meeting him at a pool hall.
Well, it's possible that those boys wouldn't know him too well. He's new around here, isn't he?
That's what I understand. But doesn't it seem funny to you that a boy whose uncle gives him the complete run of his estate should be living in a tiny apartment in a cheap section of town? And Bob says they met while Holmes was working in a cafeteria. Why should Holmes have to take a job like that?
When you put it that way, it doesn't sound too good.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. These cues are super long. It's just the pacing of these old movies. They made it so that, these scenes are really long. Whereas in modern movies, scenes don't work this way. But that's cool. It's an interesting challenge. Okay, so we've got this motive, and we're going to use this as the judge's theme, the judge's leitmotif. I need a little something else to happen here, and I have an idea. I'm going to go way back to the beginning. I'm going to get my big chord progression right here. I'm going to copy that because I might be able to use this too. Except I'm going to put it in the woodwinds. And I'm going to get rid of this. That's our big weird chord from the end. And let's save this chord progression to come in at a key time. So let's find a moment where it would be good to introduce another element.
I'm afraid it's going to take a little time to crack this case.
Come on, your coffee will get cold.
Give me a little too, Jerry.
All right.
Well, what have you found out so far?
How about right there? So what have you found out so far? And then the guy starts talking.
I had a list of names of everyone I thought could possibly be a link in the case. I've asked about all of them. Here are the results.
Now, I thought this was going to be long, but these are all really short, but that's kind of neat, actually. Just having those little punctuations there. Let's boost the volumes of those up just a touch.
Well, what have you found out so far?
I had a list of names of everyone I thought could possibly be a link in the case.
It's very subtle,
I've asked
but
about all
subtlety
of
is
them.
good here.
Here are the results. Fred Smith.
Okay, now right here we need something new. I have another idea. Check this out. I'm going to take this chord progression. I'm going to put it in my legato strings. Which one of these is legato? That's tremolo. So this one is legato. Now I'm dealing with a chord progression here, so I need to make sure it lines up exactly. Okay. Now I'm not going to use this chord progression. What I'm going to do here is I'm just kind of using it as a space holder. What I'm actually going to put here is a C, a really high C. And I'm going to try to make a little melody happening here. So everything right now is centered around C minor. So if I'm going to make this big, nice, lush melody, I'm going to start it on a C. Let's do that, and then let's go maybe do a B flat, and then to an A. Let's just try that.
Fred Smith.
Oops, my volume is all the way down because I faded it out earlier.
Fred Smith. Obviously a phony. No reaction anywhere. Bob Winter.
You don't suspect Bob.
I don't get excited. Of course I don't. I just use Bob's name as a sort of...
Okay, I didn't love that melody. Let's take that up to D, and then this up to... I want kind of a big leap there. Let's try that G.
Fred Smith. Obviously a phony. No reaction anywhere. Bob Winter.
You don't suspect Bob.
I don't get excited. Of course I don't. I just use Bob's name as a...
Ooh, and that came early on accident, but that's okay because that gives me opportunity to do this.
Smith. Obviously a phony. No reaction anywhere. Bob Winter.
You don't suspect Bob.
I don't get excited. Of course I don't. I just use Bob's name as a sort of bait.
Oops.
Smith. Obviously a phony. No reaction anywhere. Bob Winter.
You don't suspect Bob.
I don't get excited. Of course I don't. I just use Bob's name as a sort of bait. I'm afraid Jerry isn't too familiar. Of course I don't. I just use Bob's name as a sort of bait. I'm afraid Jerry isn't too familiar with police methods, Your Honor.
Okay, let's do that. And this maybe... Let's roll that back to there. Okay, nice little self-contained melody.
Smith. Obviously a phony. No reaction anywhere. Bob Winter.
You don't suspect Bob.
I don't get excited. Of course I don't. I just use Bob's name as a sort of bait. I'm afraid Jerry isn't too familiar with police.
Okay, now let's keep building on it for the rest of the scene. So let's do this again, but let's add in the tremolo section now. Let's also add in the piano. Right there. This will be weird, but let's try it.
Fred Smith. Obviously a phony. No reaction anywhere. Bob Winter.
You don't suspect Bob.
I don't get excited. Of course I don't. I just use Bob's name as a sort of bait. I'm afraid Jerry isn't too familiar with police methods, Your Honor.
Well, he never explains anything to me, Mrs. Valentine. How am I supposed to know anything about it?
But to continue, Umberto Scali. As I said before, no one knew him. Andy and Francis Williams, friends of Bob's.
Okay, so I'm getting something built up here. I kind of like it.
I just used Bob's name as a sort of bait. I'm afraid Jerry isn't too familiar with police methods, Your Honor.
Well, he never explains anything to me, Mrs. Valentine. How am I supposed to know anything about it?
But to continue, Umberto Scali. As I said before, no one knew him. Andy and Francis Williams, friends of Bob's, in the clear.
Yes, I know the Williams children.
Al Holmes.
Al Holmes. I don't seem to remember that name.
That's the boy whose uncle owns the pool. They went swimming there tonight.
Oh, yes. Is he in the clear?
Okay, we're getting somewhere. Just by using this motive of the judge's motive, we're really extending out this scene, and I'm kind of stretching to make it fill the full length of the scene. We'll see how it goes, but I'll tell you what comes next. Next, I think we need a little bit of rhythm to liven this up. Not necessarily a whole new ostinato. I kind of have one idea that's popping into my head that might work well. So let's go to a new video. Let's talk about adding some rhythm to this to liven it up.